Hello, mathematicians. Today we're going to be learning about linear inequalities, and more specifically, we're going to be working with word problems that have linear inequalities. So remember that if we have a linear inequality with a greater than or less than sign, we're going to use a dotted line because if we have a greater than or less than sign, any coordinate that is on this line is not included as a solution to our inequality. And if we have a greater than or equal to or less than or equal to, we're going to be using a solid line. And remember that any coordinate on this line, because it's a solid line, will be included in as a part of our solution. So here we have our first word problem. Sarah is ordering a flower arrangement with red and white roses. She does not want to spend more than $28. The red roses cost $4 each, and the white roses cost $2 each. So just like I made this coordinate, red roses is going to be our x, and white roses is going to be our y. So x equals the number of red roses and y equals the number of white roses and so if x represents red roses and y represents white roses, the red roses are $4 each, so we're going to have 4x. And the white roses are $2 each. And she does not want to spend more than $28. So this has to be less than or equal to 28 because she does not want to spend more than. So, again, just like standard form, we're going to treat this as if it had an equal sign in order to graph it. And we're going to substitute our x with 0 to find our y-intercept and our y with 0 to find our x-intercept. So 4 times 0 is just 0. And here we have 2y is less than or equal to 28. In order to get y by itself, we're going to divide both sides by 2. So y is less than or equal to 14. So since that's our y-intercept, we're going to plot it at 0, 14. And now we're going to substitute the y with 0. So 2 times 0 is 0. So we have 4x is less than or equal to 28. And in order to get x by itself, we have to divide both sides by 4. So x is less than or equal to 7. So here our x-intercept is 7, 0. And because it's less than or equal to, we're going to have a solid line. And so now that we have our line drawn, we're going to see which coordinates are true. So the easiest one that we could use is 0, 0. So 4 times 0 plus 2 times 0 is less than or equal to 28. So 4 times 0 is 0, plus 2 times 0 is 0, so 0 is less than or equal to 28. And this is true. So we're just going to pick another coordinate on the opposite side of the line just to make sure. So we could pick any coordinate on this other side. I'm just going to pick 9, 0. So our x value is 9. And our y value is 0. And in order for this to be true, it has to be less than or equal to 28. So 4 times 9 is 36. Plus 0 is just 36, is less than or equal to 28. So this is not true. So this coordinate is not true. So we're going to shade below the line. So everything that's shaded right now is true. So for example, if Sarah decided to get, let's say, 4 red roses and 4 white roses, this should either be, it should be less than 28 because everything on the line should be equal to 28. So let's substitute that in and see if it's true. 4 times 4 plus 2 times 4 should be less than 28. So 4 times 4 is 16. 2 times 4 is 8. 16 plus 8 is 24. And that is less than or equal to 28, so that's true. So any coordinate we pick in the shaded region would make this inequality true because it would be less than, and any coordinate we pick on the line would make it equivalent. So if we pick this random coordinate here, which is 210, that should be equivalent to $28. So 4 times 2 plus 2 times 10 is less than or equal to 28. So 4 times 2 is 8. 2 times 10 is 20. And that is exactly equal to 28. So that's true because it's less than or equal to. So remember, if it's in the shaded region, it's less than. If it's on the line, it's equal to. Okay, so here we have another problem. Jennifer is making adult and children t-shirts to sell. An adult's t-shirt will cost $16 and a child's t-shirt will cost $12. She hopes to make more than $144 in her sales. So, just like our coordinate here, X represents the number of adult t-shirts. Y represents the number of children t-shirts. So each adult t-shirt will cost $16. So it's $16 per adult t-shirt. And the child's t-shirt will cost $12 per shirt. And she hopes to make more than $144. So again, this is in standard form. So we're going to find the x and the y intercept, and so that we could get our points here to graph. So $16 times 0. So we're getting our y-intercept now, plus 12y is greater than 144. So 16 times 0 is just 0, and so that cancels out. 12y is greater than 144. In order to get y by itself, we have to divide both sides by 12. So y is greater than 12. So here our y-intercept is 0, 12. And now we're going to do the same thing to get our x-intercept. And we're going to substitute y for 0. So 16x plus 12 times 0 is greater than 144. So 16x is greater than 144 because 12 times 0 is just 0. Now we want to get x by itself, so we're going to divide both sides by 16. So x is greater than 9. So our x-intercept is 0, 9. And because we have a greater than sign, our line is going to be dotted. So now we have to figure out which side of the line we're going to shade. And so we're going to test out our coordinate 0, 0. So 16 times 0 plus 12 times 0 16 times 0 is 0, 12 times 0 is 0. So we end up with 0 is greater than 144, which is not true. So we're going to test out another coordinate on the opposite side of our line. So we could test out any coordinate. I'm going to test out 10, 0 because that one is easy to work with. So we have 16 times 10 plus 12 times 0, and that should be greater than 144. And so 16 times 10 is 160. 12 times 0 is 0. So 160 is greater than 144, making that coordinate true. So we could shade this side of our line. So all the coordinates on this side should make this inequality true. So for example, if I pick the coordinate 10, 5, because this is highlighted, the cost should be greater than 144. So that would be 16 times 10 plus 12 times 5. And that should be greater than 144. 16 times 10 is 160. And then 12 times 5 is 60. And we could see that that's already going to be greater than. So if we add these two up, we get 220, which is greater than 144. So anything on this shaded region will be greater than 144. And anything on the line will be equal to 144. But because our inequality is greater than 144, this will not be true. So for example, if we pick this coordinate here, which is on the line, this would make this inequality not true. So that's 0, 12, so 16 times 0 plus 12 times 12 is greater than 144. 16 times 0 is just 0, sorry. 12 times 12 is 144, and that is not greater than 144, so anything on the line is not included and it's not true. So only the shaded region is true for this. And that's it.